Recently, a user has contacted me and reported an error or a bug in the TASCAM Model 12, and I tried to verify and confirm it, and I can say, yes, there's definitely a bug in the TASCAM Model 12. Firmware version 1.41, this is what's running, but I did test it in firmware version 1.30 as well, so it existed back then as well. And the issue with it is the AFL button when you are in place solo mode. So for that, I'm going to demonstrate. And what I have is a headphone output plugged into my audio capture. So that's what you're going to be hearing. So just to prove that, let's have a listen. I'm going to adjust the headphone volume. So that confirms what you're hearing is what's coming out of that headphone socket, and that's what you normally use, a headphone, to listen to after fader level or pre-fader level. As I mentioned, I'm in a mixing stage, and the option in the menu is, if I go into the mixer and into solo mode, and the solo mode I have is in place solo. So what that means is that every time I press, every other channel gets muted. And that's how I like to mix, so that when I'm mixing and I've got my speaker monitors on my main output and I'm trying to mix it using my speakers, and it's the same result with the headphone as well anyway, is that's how I use it. So I can just monitor particular channel when I'm mixing down from the playback of the multitrack recorder. So let's give it a try, shall we? And I'll show you what I mean. So let's just do a mix. So I can solo the bass and the kick. Yep, I'm balancing them, I'm good. Okay, all that, you know what I mean. And I do have reverb. I'm just gonna make it louder, accentuated, so you can hear the difference. Okay, I want to listen now what the effect is doing, what's going to the effects, because I think there's something not right with the effects. And for me to do that, let's say I've got the kick accidentally going there. I'm going, what's that now? Okay, so you would think I would be able to press the AFL. You can hear the reverb, but there's, look at overhead as well, but I've got everything turned down. Let me turn all the effects off. But I'm still hearing. I'm hearing 7 and 8. That's what it is. So, okay, 7 and 8 is my overhead. When I do an AFL, you can see AFL came on, I shouldn't be able to hear anything because there's nothing going to the effects channel. I can still hear it. I can still hear it. So none of that makes any difference in the volume here. Mute. I can still hear it. Mute. Take it off main. Solo it. I can still hear it because I've got the AFL button pressed still. Until I press it down. Okay, now you can't hear it. Okay, so let's put it back to main. Now I can mix it. Effects is muted. And I can still hear 7 and 8. So that is a problem, because 7 and 8, no matter what setting I do, what is turned off, it still comes to my after fader level, even though everything else turned off. Right? Let's play it. Even there I have my auxiliaries muted. Even though my effects channel is muted. Because you would think it shouldn't come true. Guess what? I've got AFL for auxiliary 1. I can still hear it. Auxiliary 2? No. Oh, that's the end of the song. Let's go back to the beginning. Let's put AFL, auxiliary 2, even though it's muted. All we hear is 7 and 8. Nothing is on. Everything muted. So every time the AFL button is pressed, 7/8 comes through the headphones. It also comes out on the main speakers as well. So hopefully they can fix that in the next update. And yeah, this may not be a major issue to majority of the people who are using it because it doesn't really affect the mix. So when you are mixing it down, it doesn't affect what gets recorded onto the main, but it is a bug after all that needs to be resolved. Anyway, thanks TASCAM. Till next time, as always, thanks for watching and have a great time making music.